we're not in Kansas anymore.
Into the fire I'm thrown, where it hardly feels even warm. I must say she ain't all desire, so that I can again feel fire. I know that I must feel something. I feel like fire sting. My skin is fireproof. Burn me up, but it ain't no use. I speak the fiery word. I got the feather of the firebird.
No, Dorothy, you are not in Kansas anymore. But you are in Titusville. This is a daily. Wall of Mart. Gotta admit, this week, I've had a story in my hip pocket for like 2 months now. And this week, well, I'm finally gonna do it. Aspen?
This is an aspen. You can tell that it's an aspen tree because of the way it is.
Oh yeah! Back in high school, I was known as Secret Keeping Joe. As I would walk down the hallway, they'd all whisper and murmur, "There's Secret Keeping Joe. He never tells his secret." I'm not trying to be mean, I just wanted to keep it for the nice weather so I could totally enjoy this weather. We're getting there, people. It's March. We're making it through winter. We're almost there. I think I was gonna make it.
I got the feather, I got the feather, I got the feather of the firebird. I got the feather, I got the feather, I got the feather of the firebird.
Well, that weather turned to trash real quick. Pennsylvania weather. What are you gonna do here? Cherry Tree Township, Venango, PA. You know, I fall into stories where I believe really nobody talks about and nobody really knows about. But did you know in Cherry Tree Township, L.Frank Baum come from a rich family who owned wells, stores, and also started the bank in Plummer Township. Wow, that's cold. This abandoned oil barrel has a lot to do where L.Frank Baum come from. Stop for 1 minute. Before I get all the Oz fans in an uproar, I just want to clarify. L.Frank Baum never actually was a resident of Pennsylvania. Now his dad was here with all the oil wells, with the stores, starting the bank in Plummer. He was always a presence in the Titusville Cherry Tree location. Yes, a man named L.Frank Baum wrote a book. He wrote a book in 1900 that expanded into 14 series, 41 other novels, 83 short, and 200 poems. The book L.Frank Baum wrote was The Wizard of Oz. And you all know the classic film in 1939, The Wizard of Oz, come out. Crazy to think, but the backstory of Lyman is Benjamin Ward Baum was L.Frank Baum's dad. They lived 300 miles away in New York State. He originally in New York State owned a butter and cheese company, but later shut that down and become a barrel maker 300 miles away, right when Colonel Drake struck the first successful well. Benjamin Baum, L.Frank Baum's dad, having the cheese and butter company in New York and shutting that down, making barrels in New York, shut the barrel company down, come here to build barrels for Pennsylvania crude. And on top of that, he was sinking wells in Titusville, Cherry Tree, all around this area. So who's to say what barrels still sit here that this man made? But making all the money here. These things, driving along the road here, they are sitting everywhere. So who's to say L.Frank Baum's dad did not build that? Holy crap. I don't know how this video is going to turn out because the weather purely sucks today. I did not expect this at all. I thought it was going to be, well, when you film on the side of the street, you have car noise. It's 29 degrees. The wind's blowing through my ear. I don't like this. You know, I do some crazy stuff living in Pennsylvania, and filming in this weather, I can guarantee I don't like this. I don't enjoy this weather at all. But you know, you gotta get the vlog done, right? That's what I'm trying to tell you. I know, car, I'm going. Trying to film here, come on! 1860, Cherry Tree in Titusville is where they dropped the wells, but they also sold their barrels they made to wildcatters. Now you say, what the heck is a wildcatter? I didn't know either, until I looked it up. Boom! A prospector who sinks exploratory wells. Yes, you just went to class in the old Nissan. I am standing in Cherry Tree Township right now. I must say, throughout the years of my filming, my mother-in-law would say to me, how come you never go to Cherry Tree and film? Well, there's nothing really here. I'm just saying, the weather's horrible, it's loud, the salt trucks are going by. I must be a crazy man, but I did it for you, Mom. I did Cherry Tree, but I gotta tell you, but L.Frank Baum's dad tried to build a pipeline to make more money, and Rockefeller shut him down. Basically, like he shut everybody else down. Yes, Rockefeller was, that's a crazy story. I won't get into that. That's a whole different story. But Rockefeller, he well, he ruled the roost, let's just say, around here. Oh man, look at this weather. I don't know if it transfers on camera, but I can't see 10 feet from where I'm driving. It's so misty out. I gotta be a crazy man to be doing this. But eventually the family moved to McKean County on a 100-acre farm. And of course, they put more wells and, well, they made more money. You know, Titusville is known for oil country. And I love the fact of that. But I like to do the weird stories that nobody talks about. But eventually the family did move back to New York. Actually, they went to Syracuse. The family moved back to Syracuse after the oil boom kind of died off here. But the family, after moving back to Syracuse, Frank was an adult and he was still writing, just messing around with it. It wasn't really a job at this point in his life. Him and his brother, hold on, I got one more. No, there's one more. Come on, Volvo, you can do it. There you go. Frank and his brothers started a company, Baum's Cast-O-Rine Company. It was a grease company. So on top of his writing, just messing around, and Frank Baum starting a grease company. And would you believe, when he sold it, here's the horrible part of the story. When he sold the company, it's still in business today in Rome, New York. Yeah, I looked it up. That company is still in business. But L.Frank Baum sold that company because his brother died. Then his dad died. And then when he got back from a business trip, the bookkeeper stole all the profits of the company, gambled it away, then shot himself. So Frank said, I'm done. I'm out of here. He took off, moved, started writing full time. And in 1900, the beginning of the vlog is when he released The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Connect that to Titusville, Cherry Tree, L.Frank Baum. The more you know.
But I've already told you, I'm not a witch at all. Witches are old and ugly.
Here's a fun fact for you. On a day Frank was selling oil cans for his grease company to customers around the area, New York, Pennsylvania, wherever place he was in, he got the idea for the Tin Man in his book. I gotta say it, the more you know. Here is a map of Cherry Tree Run. That is where all the main wells, where Mr. Baum sunk the oil wells. That is why Cherry Tree Run is there, because of Mr. Baum. Yes! Can't beat the real thing. But what I'm about to tell you, I said in the woods already, but the wind-blown footage, you couldn't hear a word, well, basically what I was saying. So I'm going to say it again. Benjamin's style of living, raising his family in a lifestyle of the rich and famous, allowed Frank to stay home and get tutored his whole career, where he had the lifestyle and the luxury of having these studies of writing, of all the, back in the day, the higher ups had this stuff. So through the years, Frank learned about writing, loved writing. That was his passion, but it wasn't his job. That's why he kind of followed the path of his dad. But in turn, with him making the millions here, the millions in New York, Frank loved writing. So when Frank grew up, sold his business, become a full-time writer, and oil fields, in a article I read, I didn't write it, trust me. I read the oil field business. His dad was a big inspiration on the Wizard of Oz books, and some of his family members had ideas too. That's crazy. But the whole complete circle turns into a book. You know, Frank sold over 1 million copies of The Wizard of Oz. But this is what I gotta say about this. If Frank's dad worked here, he had all these stores. He started the bank in the little town of Plummer with the little convenience store. And there's just houses scattered about in the woods. That town is tiny. There's really nothing there. You can almost bet when Frank was a little kid, his dad had him in Titusville, had him in Cherry Tree. You can almost guarantee that L.Frank Baum walked the streets of Titusville. That's historic in itself. But check me out on Facebook, check me out on Instagram. I'm gonna end the note this week on what a wonderful deal happened Saturday. I didn't film a lot this week, through the week, and then the nasty day today, and today is Sunday. But I want to thank everybody who showed up for my brother's memorial dinner. That was awesome. Everybody showed up. It was really a nice gathering of people, and people's generosity. Let me tell you, people, it's awesome how people come together when you're in need, and people showed up in droves, man. So everybody who showed up to my brother's memorial dinner, you guys are awesome. Just saying. That's all I can say. But I'll see you next Monday, 6 o'clock. I do these crazy stories, and I can't do them in the winter's got to end. Winter's got to stop. I think I'm getting sick.
Yeah,